Let's play the final round of Medical Terminology Showdown. I'll give you the category and the question, and you respond with the answer in the form of a question. Category: word parts. Question: a suffix that means pain or suffering. Your answer: what is algia? Correct! Next question. Question: a prefix that means excessive or increased. Your answer: what is hyper? Question: a suffix that means surgical removal. Your answer: what is ectomy? Question: a word part that refers to the liver. Your answer: what is hepato? Question: a prefix that means bad or abnormal. Your answer: what is dis? Let's continue the game. Question: a prefix that means deficient or decreased. Your answer: what is hypo? Word parts. Question: a suffix that means inflammation. Your answer: what is it is? Question: a suffix that means abnormal softening. Your answer: what is malacia? Question: a suffix that means tissue death. Your answer: what is necrosis? Question: a suffix that means abnormal condition. Your answer: what is osis? Question: a suffix that means surgical creation of an opening. Your answer: what is ostomy? Question: a suffix that means surgical incision. Your answer: what is otomy? Question: a suffix that means surgical repair. Your answer: what is plasty? Question: a suffix that means bleeding. Your answer: what is rage? Question: a suffix that means to suture. Your answer: what is roughy? Question: a suffix that means abnormal flow. Your answer: what is rhea? Question: a suffix that means rupture. Your answer: what is rhexis? Question: a suffix that means abnormal hardening. Your answer: what is sclerosis? Question: a suffix that means visual examination. Your answer: what is scopy? Question: a suffix that means abnormal narrowing. Your answer: what is stenosis? Wow, you're on a roll. You got 20/20. You're a medical terminology genius. Let's play another final round of Medical Terminology Showdown. I'll give you the category and the question, and you respond with the answer in the form of a question. Let's go through the definitions and matching terms. Definitions. 121. Which word part means plaque or fatty substance? Your answer: what is athero? Correct! 122. Which prefix means surrounding? Your answer: what is peri? 123. Which type of word part is always placed at the end of the term? Your answer: what is a suffix? 124. Which word part means white? Your answer: what is Luke? 125. Which suffix means abnormal softening? Your answer: what is malacia? 126. Pain, which can be observed only by the patient, is a... Your answer: what is a symptom? 127. Which prefix means deficient or decreased? Your answer: what is hypo? 128. Which term means a prediction of the probable course and outcome of a disease? Your answer: what is prognosis? 129. Which suffix means to rupture? Your answer: what is rhexis? 130. Which term is the plural of appendix? Your answer: what are appendices? Matching terms and definitions. 131. Laceration. Your answer: what is a torn, ragged wound? 132. Lesion. Your answer: what is a pathologic tissue change? 133. Palpitation. Your answer: what is a pounding heart? 134. Palpation. Your answer: what is an examination procedure? 135. Prostate. Your answer: what is a male gland? You got 15/15. You're on a roll. Would you like to continue or try a different game? Let's go through the questions. Which word? 136. The body cavities are lined with specialized mucus membrane. Your answer: mucus. Correct! 137. The formation of pus is called supination, suppuration. Your answer: suppuration. 138. The term meaning wound or injury is trauma, triage. Your answer: trauma. 139. The medical term meaning possessing masculine traits is virile. Your answer: virile. 140. The medical term for part of the small intestine is ileum. Your answer: ileum. Spelling counts. 141. A disease named for the person who discovered it is known as an eponym. Your answer: eponym. 142. A localized response to injury or tissue destruction is called inflammation. Your answer: inflammation. 143. The act of closing a wound by stitching is suturing. Your answer: suturing. 144. The medical term meaning the surgical repair of a nerve is neuroplasty. Your answer: neuroplasty. 145. The medical term meaning inflammation of the tonsils is tonsillitis. Your answer: tonsillitis. Matching terms. 146. Cardiac. Your answer: pertaining to the heart. 147. Gastralgia. Your answer: stomach pain. 148. Gastrosis. Your answer: abnormal stomach condition. 149. Myoplasty. Your answer: surgical muscle repair. 150. Myorexis. Your answer, rupture of a muscle. Term selection. 151. Which term means the abnormal narrowing of an artery or arteries? Your answer, arteriostenosis. 152. Based on the word part that indicates color, which term means blue skin coloration due to the lack of oxygen? Your answer, cyanosis. 153. Which term contains a combining vowel between two word roots? Your answer, gastroenteritis. 154. Which prefix means bad, difficult, or painful? Your answer, dis. 155. Which term means a specialist in diagnosing and treating diseases, disorders, and problems associated with aging? Your answer, gerontologist. Let's play another medical terminology game. Sentence completion. 156. Lower than normal blood pressure is called hypotension. Explanation. Hypertension is lower than normal blood pressure. 157. The process of recording a picture of an artery or arteries is called arteriography. Explanation. Arteriography is the process of recording a picture of an artery or arteries. 158. The term meaning above or outside the ribs is supracostal. Explanation. Supracostal means above or outside the ribs. 159. A strong dependence on a drug or substance is known as addiction. Explanation. Addiction is a strong dependence on a drug or substance. 160. The act of binding or tying off blood vessels or ducts is called ligation. Explanation. Ligation is the act of binding or tying off blood vessels or ducts. True, false. 161. Arterionecrosis is the abnormal narrowing of an artery or arteries. False. Explanation. Arterionecrosis is the death of tissue in an artery, not narrowing. 162. Mucus is the substance secreted by the mucous membranes. True. Explanation. Mucus is the substance secreted by the mucous membranes. 163. Supination is the formation or discharging of pus. False. Explanation. Suppuration is the formation or discharging of pus, not supination. 164. A suffix usually, but not always, indicates location, time, or number. True. Explanation. A suffix can indicate location, time, or number, but not always. 165. A combining vowel is used when the suffix begins with a consonant. True. Explanation. A combining vowel is used to connect a word root to a suffix that begins with a consonant. 166. Ova is the plural of ovum. True. Explanation. Ova is the plural form of ovum. 167. A disease that is in remission has been cured. False. Explanation. A disease in remission is not necessarily cured, but rather its symptoms have decreased or disappeared. 168. The term phlegm begins with an F sound. False. Explanation. The term phlegm begins with a silent P sound. 169. To diagnose is the process of reaching a diagnosis. True. Explanation. To diagnose is the process of identifying a disease or condition. 170. It is not necessary to use a combining vowel when joining two root words. False. Explanation. A combining vowel is usually necessary when joining two root words. Let's go through the clinical conditions. 171. Beverly Gaston suffers from higher than normal blood pressure. This is recorded on her chart as hypertension. Your answer, correct. Correct! 172. Mrs. Tilson was treated for pulmonary edema. This condition is an excessive buildup of fluid in the lungs. Your answer, correct. 173. Dr. Gustafson is trained in the treatment of the diseases and disorders associated with aging. His specialty is known as gerontology. Your answer, correct. 174. In the accident, Felipe Valladares suffered a broken toe. The medical term for this is a fractured phalanx. Your answer, correct. 175. Hal Jameson received emergency treatment for appendicitis, which is an inflammation of the appendix. Your answer, correct. 176. Gina Manley told her friends that she has an enlarged liver. The medical term for this condition is hepatomegaly. Your answer, correct. 177. As she used her hands to examine the patient, Dr. Liu was using an examination technique called palpation. 178. Joan Randolph's medication was administered by an injection into the muscle. This is called an intramuscular or IM injection. Your answer, correct. 179. Andy Lewis describes that uncomfortable feeling as heartburn. The medical term for this condition is gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD. 180. Max Green's muscle wound required suturing. This procedure is called myopathy. Your answer, correct. You got 10-10. You're a master of medical terminology. Would you like to continue or try a different game? By the way, I noticed you mentioned you're applying for a student worker position. Good luck with that. You're doing great, and I'm sure you'll do well. Let's go through the questions. Which is the correct medical term? 181. Which term means an inflammation of a nerve or nerves? Your answer, neuritis. 182. Which term means the loss of a large amount of blood in a short time? Your answer, hemorrhage. 183. Which term means the tissue death of an artery or arteries? Your answer, arterionecrosis. 184. Which term describes the time and events before birth? Your answer, perinatal. 185. Which term means enlargement of the liver? Your answer, hepatomegaly. The medical specialist concerned with the diagnosis and treatment of heart disease is your answer, cardiologist. Correct. The medical term meaning a runny nose is your answer, rhinorrhea. The medical term meaning the inflammation of a joint is your answer, arthritis. A specialist in disorders of the newborn is called a your answer, neonatologist. The medical term meaning a surgical incision into a nerve is a your answer, neurotomy. The medical term meaning the visual examination of the internal structure of a joint is your answer, arthroscopy. The medical term meaning an inflammation of an artery is your answer, arteritis. The medical term meaning pain in a nerve or nerves is your answer, neuralgia. The medical term meaning a surgical incision into the heart is your answer, cardiostomy. The medical term meaning an inflammation of the nose is your answer, rhinitis. The word part, combining form meaning spinal cord, is your answer, myelo. The word part, combining form meaning muscle, is your answer, myo. The word part, combining form meaning bone marrow, is your answer, myelo. The word part, combining form meaning nerve, is your answer, neuro. The word part, combining form meaning joint, is your answer, arthro. Here are 100 questions with explanations. Matching word parts 1. 11. Algia. D. Pain, suffering. Explanation. The suffix algia means pain or suffering, such as neuralgia, pain in a nerve. 12. Dis. A bad, difficult, painful. Explanation. The prefix dis means bad or abnormal, such as dysplasia, abnormal development. 13. Ectomy. E. Surgical removal. Explanation. The suffix ectomy means surgical removal, such as appendectomy, removal of the appendix. 14. Hepato-C. Liver. Explanation. The word part hepat-o refers to the liver, such as hepatitis, inflammation of the liver. 15. Hyper. B. Excessive, increased. Explanation. The prefix hyper means excessive or increased, such as hypertension, high blood pressure. Matching word parts 2. 16. Hypo. C. Deficient, decreased. Explanation. The prefix hypo means deficient or decreased, such as hypotension, low blood pressure. 17. Itis. D. Inflammation. Explanation. The suffix itis means inflammation, such as arthritis, inflammation of the joints. 18. Malacia. B. Abnormal softening. Explanation. The suffix malacia means abnormal softening, such as osteomalacia, softening of the bones. Blind necrosis. E. Tissue death. Explanation. The suffix necrosis means tissue death, such as necrosis, death of tissue. 110. Osis. A abnormal condition. Explanation. The suffix osis means abnormal condition or disease, such as tuberculosis, a bacterial infection. Matching word parts 3. 111. Ostomy. B. Surgical creation of an opening. Explanation. The suffix ostomy means surgical creation of an opening, such as colostomy, surgical creation of an opening in the colon. 112. Otomy. C. Surgical incision. Explanation. The suffix otomy means surgical incision, such as laparotomy, surgical incision into the abdomen. 113. Plasty. D. Surgical repair. Explanation. The suffix plasty means surgical repair, such as rhinoplasty, surgical repair of the nose. 114. Rage. A bleeding. Explanation. The suffix rage means bleeding, such as hemorrhage, excessive bleeding. 115. Arafi. E. To suture. Explanation. The suffix arhafi means to suture, such as herniorrhaphy, surgical repair of a hernia. Matching word parts 4. 116. Rhea. E. Abnormal flow. Explanation. The suffix aria means abnormal flow, such as diarrhea, abnormal flow of stool. 117. Rhexis. B. Rupture. Explanation. The suffix rhexis means rupture, such as enterorhexis, rupture of the intestine. 118. Sclerosis. D. Abnormal hardening. Explanation. The suffix sclerosis means abnormal hardening, such as arteriosclerosis, hardening of the arteries. 119. Scopy. A visual examination. Explanation. The suffix scopy means visual examination, such as endoscopy, visual examination of the inside of the body. 20. Stenosis. See abnormal narrowing. Explanation. The suffix stenosis means abnormal narrowing, such as arteriostenosis, narrowing of an artery.